Tag Show.
The Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host, Jenna and Blue Magic.
Yeah.
Ready?
At least for this episode, can you just do it?
No, it's not happening.
Oh, you're corny, son. Anyway, guess what you're listening to or watching? Because, you know, I'm the star. The Mixed Tag Show with Jenna and Le Bleu. You know what's funny? I had a client.
Can you say my name first before you go into your story?
Sorry.
It's going to cut me off. I am part of this show, you know.
That's behind you with Jenna and Le Bleu.
See?
Le Bleu.
There you go. You did it right this week.
I had a client that had that last name, Le Bleu. I was like, oh my God. What's Gucci, son?
What's going on?
Nah, you know, same old. How you feeling? You just came back from Orlando. I didn't really know when you left or came back.
I told you when I was leaving.
What? Yeah, I should have wished you had.
You didn't wish me anything.
Sorry, there's no excuse. I really don't have an excuse for you. My fault, son.
Like, I left literally after I left here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you said, see you next week in a week. And I was like, yeah, okay. Sorry. That was my fault. But you didn't tell me when you were coming back. When did you come back?
Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know, something short. Nothing major.
I really want to go to Orlando. I think I want to do it for my birthday. Want to come?
Maybe.
Would you come?
Maybe. Depends on money.
Fine, that's fine, but would you come?
If I'm available, sure, yeah.
What do you mean if you're available?
Because I might supposed to be going the week before your birthday. Well, during your birthday week, remember? I might be going out there during then.
So that's when
I'll be out there already. So, yeah, you know, okay.
I just want you for once in your life, since we've been, like, friends and doing this whole thing, just to, like, be like, yeah, you know what, Jenna? You say no more. We're a team. Like, yeah.
I've done that. I was at your last birthday dinner.
Were you?
Right.
Were you? I don't know if you were or not.
We went to Blend.
I'm kidding. I know.
And I stuck out longer.
Yeah, I know.
Drinks.
Yeah, I know. Even though the place was a little kind of like a buzzkill, but you know, whatever.
Anyway, my week was fine. Went out to the graduation for my niece, surprised her. Everybody posted a video up on the Insta story.
It was so cute.
And very proud of her. She graduated high school.
Good for her.
Yeah,
round of applause. You haven't been really doing
I have.
Not really.
But yeah, so I went out there for that. Hung out with Nels and, you know, so on and so forth. Met some people.
I saw G was a little salty.
Yeah, he was mad he couldn't make the trip, but he'll be all right.
Well, you think so?
Yeah, because we're supposed to be going out there, like you said, maybe we're going out there for 4th of July.
You see, this is what I'm saying, yo. You're fake.
How?
Yo. Nah, son.
Because we're trying to catch Fighter Fest, and then.
All right, what about me? I like wrestling. I'm your tag team partner. It's my birthday week.
When you plan your trips, you don't tell me anything. Exactly.
Listen, I tell you about Money in Bank. Well, I'm not going to that. I'm not
Actually,
going to
no,
that.
I was supposed to go to Money in Bank and then I changed my
I'm
mind.
not doing this. I'm not doing that. Look at me. I'm blue. I'm not doing this. This is what
Other
you
than
do.
that, my week was pretty fine. How was your week? Oh, yeah, my mom's here.
Shout out to your moms, yo.
So,
we don't have that?
we don't have carnival air horns. So, yeah, and she came with my other niece. The one I graduated couldn't come because she's allergic to up the north, supposedly.
Listen, I'm feeling like I'm allergic to the north my damn self at this particular moment.
Yeah, but hers is kind of weird. Like, she has, like, pus come out her legs.
Oh, she's actually, I was saying.
Yeah, like, she gets, like, really, we don't know what it is up here. As soon as she hits the air up here.
It's different.
Something's happening. Anyway, how was your week?
My week was good. Did I do anything spectacular? No, same old. I never really have anything. Unless I go to an event or what have you, so.
No, you look like you was out here. Like, you was out here eating good. You had, like.
Oh, that's right. You know, because it's been a minute since I was showing out for the gram. So, you know, I have my.
Like, you was out, like, at a carnival or something? Or, like.
No. So, this thing. I don't know how to pronounce it, but shout out to Tatiana. I went with her. It was somewhere in Brooklyn. Like, they're always there. Like, it's like a food market. Swap.
Food truck, kind of.
Not a food. Yeah, like, there was different type of foods. Like, there was a ramen burger. I thought about you because, you know, the whole ramen thing. I wanted to try it. But,
ramen burger? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, that's why, I don't know if you saw my story. I was like, I wanted to try it, but I didn't know.
See that one. I was busy with graduation stuff. and service out there.
You don't care about me, man.
But I knew where you was at, though.
Okay, so anyway, but yeah, I wound up having some Jamaican food, but I didn't really like the jerk chicken. It wasn't like, you know how I got that kick?
It didn't kick, right?
It didn't kick. And it was... But no, the crazy thing is it was like authentic because you see old dude like with the machete just with the coconut and everything.
Yeah, sure. I did that this weekend too. Did you
I
see that?
saw that.
That's good. I'm coconut.
The whole West Indian thing, the whole vibes. But
that's my first time.
Cut in coconut?
Yeah.
I was a little scared when I saw the picture. I'm like, I hope he did this right.
I did. My mom was kind of scared too. She's like, first of all, she wanted me to go by the pool. She's like, don't mess up my pool.
Right.
Go in the corner.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I had that, and then the Coke, the pineapple, drink was cool. So
okay,
yeah, I did. You know what? I went out. It wasn't like what I really wanted to do for Memorial Day weekend, but here we are.
Right.
So it was cool.
What you got planned for the weekend?
I don't know. Maybe go out, hang out. We should hang out. We don't really hang out like we used to. I can't
this weekend.
Why is that, Blue?
Have a double date on Saturday?
When do you make time for me? When do you make time for me?
We'll figure it out. We got an entire summer.
Do you promise?
We got
no,
I'm
serious.
I'm serious. We got an entire summer.
You always say stuff.
We have an entire summer. You got to tell me ahead of time.
You know how I've come at your neck numerous times about you neglecting me, and
I know.
Anyway,
but not this Saturday.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to be this Saturday because I have plans. But
see,
that's fine. My point is, at least I'm making an attempt.
Right.
Anywho, we've gone off tangent for it's my fault because I came late. Thought anyway. I'm not wearing WWE shop stuff, but you are. You are representing our fave, the boss, Sasha Banks, I'm the boss shirt. Yes. Haven't heard that in so long.
I decided to do it for this episode.
Do that? Why did you do that? Now I'm having I'm depressed.
I'm doing it for this episode for multiple reasons we'll get into once we get into hot topics and questions. And
I have a feeling I know why. Because we're typically on the same page with stuff like this.
Yeah, but if you want this, cop this shirt or something similar to it.
Yes.
Why, supplies still last. Head over to the WWE shop and click on the link in our bio at the Mixed Tag Show or in our personal at
Miss Jenna Baby, BAYVBEE
or at Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sound. Also, you can click on the link in the description of the YouTube. And cop some merch there. Throw some coins our way.
You can't get this shirt at the WWE shop.
No.
But because you have to be elite.
Oh, there you go.
Be elite. Be elite. Be
elite. So you didn't put this in the hot topic. Should I say it now or just wait till we get down here?
In regards to
Sasha.
There are hot topics about her? I didn't know there was hot topics.
Just that she showed up for her
for the WWE
2K
thing?
Yeah.
You can mention it since you have the shirt on. You rep.
Yeah, so yeah.
I won't be the mark. You do it later. Do it later. I felt like an accent just came out a little bit. Anyway, but besides that, where you can help us at
is copping some merch from Collar and Elbow. Street fashion meets wrestling wear. Something like that.
What's our discount code?
And use the discount code TMTS, which stands for That Made That Sound.
And
how about that? That made that September. Okay. So yeah, click on the link and you can also use a code name for that as well.
Exactly. But what's next?
The Mixed Tag Show Fantasy Season 3.
Sponsored by water, H2O.
And air.
Quench your thirst if you're thirsty.
And breathe if you can.
Yo, we doing it. We sound like Jericho on his thing, right?
Don't get me started on Jericho.
Yo, it's mad funny listening to his promos for his sponsors.
Yeah.
We trying to get up there, man.
Right in the middle of it.
Anywho, so while we were talking, I was able to put the points together. So, in first place this week.
Are we doing weekly? I thought we was doing
I know, but I wound up doing it. No, I'm going to do it real quick. In first place this week, we have the Nation of McFly Nation with 147.67 points. Yeah. Craig, you ain't got to lie, Craig. Wow. Next up, we have Undisputed Art Era with 109 points. Mixed Emotions, 93.5 points. The Night Riders with 90 points. The McMahon Regime 2.0, 70.5. And, of course, with 42 points. So in the lead this week is still Mixed Emotions with 2,322.4 points. Next up, the Nation of McFly Nation, Craig.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
You ain't got to lie, Craig. 2,025.29 points. Go ahead.
It's Friday. I'm going to get you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Knight Rider is in third place with 1,913.75 points. The McMahon regime. Shout out to Saeed. That's my Money in the Bank partner. 1,308.5 points. Hi, pal. You're up. And next up, we have Undisputed Art Era with 706.5 points. And last, and certainly least, the Man X3. 288.06 points. So that is the Fantasy
Draft Season 3.
Season 3.
No, not Fantasy Draft, just Fantasy.
Fantasy
Season 3.
With TMTS. With Jenna and Tom. Huh?
No.
With Jenna and Tom, eh?
No.
Alrighty, so we're going to start things off a little bit differently.
Yes, because we had a major pay-per-view this past week.
Wow, Mark. I heard the excitement. But yes, we had Double or Nothing. I had FOMO, fear of missing out. I was trying to find flights. See if I can at least go for one day just so I can go to this show. But this is AEW, All Elite Wrestling, first major pay-per-view in the MGM Arena, right? In Las Vegas.
Yep.
So,
MGM Grand.
MGM Grand, excuse me. So I didn't, it was quite a few matches and we have other things to discuss. But
sidebar, you know that the next pay-per-view hotel's already sold out?
I could imagine.
All out?
All out, so really?
The hotels, not the
yet.
tickets.
No, I know, because I know the tickets ain't going. Really? Because
the tickets ain't gonna sell yet, so the hotel's already going.
I was contemplating, like, yo, should I do this? You gonna do it?
I don't know, because I'm gonna be coming back from a long trip in Miami, so I'm not sure.
Why?
I'm gonna be coming because my son.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Priorities.
All right. Anywho, I'm for real contemplating this.
I'm gonna be going for like 10 days, so that's 2 weekends. I can't really extend it more.
I'm definitely
I mean, it's a topic. It is a topic that we've been discussing. So
you gonna do the road trip again?
Oh no, we're flying. I'm not.
That was it. That was it. It was a fun experience. That's it.
That was the one-time thing.
I'm contemplating it, but yes. Anyway, Double or Nothing was this past Saturday. We won't get into every. I didn't even put the whole card just because we had a lot to talk about. But some of the things that I thought were interesting, the Casino Battle Royal, right? That was on the buy-in,
right?
And what I liked about this, what caught my attention immediately, was not only the fact that whoever won the Battle Royal would be face off whoever won against Kenny.
Cold number one contenders.
Number one contender for Kenny versus Jericho was the fact that not everyone came out once at a time or as a group. They did it by suits, hence the reason why they were in Las Vegas, the whole gambling thing.
They play into the
topic, which I thought was really, really, really dope. Exactly. So I won't get into the whole, I guess, card shebang or who was in the match, but we had Bad Boy Joey Janela was in it.
Yeah.
Right? We had with Penelope Ford, she made an appearance. Sean Spears, aka the Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger, or formerly known as
Ty Dillinger. Also, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, a.k.a. MJF.
Yes, Tommy Dreamer. We had Billy Gunn, Luchasaurus, Jimmy Havoc, and of course, the winner of the Casino Battle Royale,
Hangman Page.
That's it. The Elite.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, Bullet Club respects them still. Give them a shout out.
I mean, they're part of Bullet Club.
Once a Bullet Club, always a Bullet Club.
That's it. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Sorry.
Right.
You saw I was repping. Yeah. I had my Ewing jersey.
I saw that.
It was a champion. It wasn't even like a throwback like Mitchell and Ness. It was. Anyway, I'm sorry. You know. Sorry.
Hangman Page coming out kind of shocked me because I was hoping that he would have a singles match, and just to throw him in there and a buy-in was kind of a curve.
Yeah.
But I see why they did that.
Well, one, you had to hype up this match. Two, I thought it surprised me too, especially. I know they've been just been talks about just putting him over and really getting. He's a young talent, just really get him over. I just find it weird that he's immediately gonna get pushed into the big title picture.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get a rub somehow, right?
No, I get it.
And he's one of the stars of being the elite.
No, I understand too, and I guess we'll talk about it after we've in regards to the pay-per-view. But I don't know. Ultimately, I get it because in the Battle Royal, because it was like, what name really stood out that was gonna have a title shot?
Jimmy Havoc. Maybe
Jimmy Havoc, but
maybe.
But you see, if you're someone that's been watching WWE and not like the Indies or what have you, you don't know any of these names. So Adam Page is like, I think I know him, Bullet Club. So it's kind of like you need a no name.
Exactly.
And he was the perfect person. So I understand it. I didn't care for it. The Battle Royal. Battle Royal is not my thing.
Right.
I like that the stipulation was a future title shot against Omega and Jericho, but it's still not my thing.
Right.
I saw some reports that they thought this was really good. It was.
I enjoyed Orange Cassidy. He's hilarious to me.
What's this dude without the legs?
I don't remember his name.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, but that's just show you that diversity. Sonny Kiss was in there.
Sonny Kiss was in there. Yeah. I forgot to mention him.
So it's just a lot of diversity. You see, and they don't take themselves so serious to the point where you're sitting there and it's like, all right, they just.
My only thing is in regards to Sean Spears, formerly known as Ty Dillinger. I'm like, damn, you left WWE just to get eliminated by an old dude. But
I mean, give him time. He's not officially signed yet, so.
No, I hear you. Actually, I saw something on our page, like he's going to be doing some shows, so if you're free, we should probably check it out.
In the area?
Yeah, in the area.
Okay.
Because, it's been a while since we went to an indie show.
Yeah, what else stood out? For me, what else stood out to me?
Don't cut me off.
Time. We got a lot to go through.
So we had SCU, your boys.
Yeah, they had a strong match as usual. Nothing really stood out to me.
Nothing stood out, but the only reason why... Sorry, I didn't mean to...
I enjoyed Strong Heart's teamwork and their ring psychology. They coming from OWE, so I really enjoyed the match altogether. Again, SU, you can't really go wrong with them.
The reason why I put that because I would hope they're a known name at this particular moment. 1, 2, and I thought it was good to start them off because you had the buy-in, but then this is like, all right, we need no name, someone that's a group that's hot right now to like hype up the crowd. I thought this was a perfect way to start off the show.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, nothing really stood out, but. Obviously, SCU defeated Strong Hearts. One of the 2 women matches that occurred on the card, we have Kylie Ray versus Dr. Britt Baker, DDS.
Yes.
Versus Nyla Rose.
Yep.
And we had a swerve of some sort.
The match went from great to awesome.
I see what you did there, buddy.
That was Brandy's line.
I know. I see what you did there. Anywho, it was supposed to be a triple threat match, right? And then obviously Brandy came out, and now it's Awesome Kong. What did you think? That
was a great way to introduce Awesome Kong. A lot of people mentioned her name throughout the week. It was good to keep a surprise in the pocket and not automatically, project what you was gonna do. And there was no, nobody knew on the dirt sheets, and this is what me and Nels was talking about, is that throughout the entire weekend, you didn't know who was what.
Exactly. And I was thinking about that. I didn't know if to bring it up during Hot Topics or just now, but I guess this is
a good time.
I think the reason why we haven't heard stuff leaking is because the whole thing.
That's just left. What you want me to do?
Because I thought you wanted something.
I'm straight. I'm drinking it straight. I don't drink that mixed.
What are you calling me?
No, I'm just saying me. I don't drink it mixed.
Were you calling me a punk?
No.
You calling me a punk? You calling me a punk? Anywho, no. But yeah, I think one of the reasons why we haven't heard like leaks and stuff. One, it's a new company, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the idea is like we really want this to be successful, so we're just gonna keep everything in house. Because I'll mention this in Hot Topics in regards to Jon Moxley,
right?
But how many times I've said it, and you've agreed on the show that I miss the days where we didn't have things spoiled,
right?
It's just like the genuine feel of like, wow, this person showed up, or this happened, like a swerve, like that no one knew. So yeah, I thought that was pretty dope. Like the crowd clearly was excited for it, and people on social media
And also,
popped for it.
And also,
I could have mixed this a little bit too. But.
You didn't put it in here, but I also enjoyed that 6 women's tag match as well. That was just amazing.
It was a great
one
match.
One of the 2 top matches of the night, in my opinion.
It was a great match. The only reason why I felt like it was too much, but it was a great match.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out. Both women matches were amazing with great work from both sides.
And after we discuss the card, and we'll get into the hot topic. I mean, one of the questions of the night, but that is a promising side for me, especially talent that's looking to come possibly to AEW in regards to the women's division. That was a great sign. But after that, Dr. Britt Baker, DDS.
Yes.
She defeated Kylie Ray, Nia Rose, and Awesome Kong. I'll tell you one thing. Kylie, she was the clear favorite and had a lot of people behind her.
Right.
And I know everything that has happened during the weekend in regards to Cody Rhodes, what he said in regards to the inflable men or whatever. But she does remind me a lot of like at least old school Bayley. NXT
she definitely
Bayley.
does.
She definitely has that vibe to her.
But it also shows that Britt Baker is going to be the leading woman of this division, in my opinion.
I think so, yeah.
She has it, to me.
She has it, and I can't help to think that because who her boyfriend is, too, it's just kind of like a known name, right? Because if you don't watch other promotions, you don't know who Kylie Ray is, you don't know who Nia Rose is. You know who Awesome Kong is. You should know at least.
You should know who Britt Baker is too, because she made her appearances at NXT.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So she's the known name, and then on top of that, I hate to tie her to a man, but her boyfriend is Adam Cole.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, okay, we kind of have you as the face right now of the division, which is cool. She's dope. But then we get into this. You ready?
Can I do this one?
Go ahead, go for it.
So we get the Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes match. And
what did you think?
And Cody came out in his entrance, direct shot.
Bang, bang.
Direct shot. Sledgehammer,
bang,
thrown,
bang.
everything.
Bang, bang.
And to me, I like it.
I do too.
And to be honest with you, Triple H probably likes it.
People
are saying that he should be mad, but no, he likes this.
I'm sure Triple H was like very impressed by all of this. You know, the only one that you really probably didn't even watch or care was Vince, which is stupid. But we'll get into that later.
Sorry. You're on my side. I had to stretch.
Anyway, but yeah, I love that, and a lot of people. Obviously, it was a hit towards and I don't think it was a hit towards Triple H per se, but just to get rid of that old mentality like that, like how Cody's been going in his promos about with this match,
right?
Like that old school mentality of the Attitude Era and this and that and third. This is the new generation, the new way of, promoting wrestling and just getting back to having fun and, putting your stars first. And I think that was the symbolism, not necessarily like taking a shot at Triple H, like a lot of marks. But
I think it's a mixture of both because they've both been taking small shots at each other in general. Like when Triple H did his Hall of Fame speech, and the whole executive vice presidents and the Pissant Company, and so. Again, to me, in my opinion,
this was a little strong.
Triple H loves this kind of attention. He loves this back and forth.
And it's so funny that you say that in regards to attention because I didn't know if it was like newsworthy, but I know Ryback on his podcast. Ryback on his podcast recently said that Triple H loves attention, like loves to look to see what people say on the internet, which the irony is he's always like kind of like crapping on fans like that complain on the internet, but yet in real life you love that attention or seeing what people have to say. So like you said, he loves this attention. But if
there's a respecting too, because it's Dusty's kids.
It's Dusty's kids, and not only that, you should like competition. Like when if you know you're the best, and someone's trying to challenge your spot. All right, let's see what you can do. Like the Warriors, right? They're the defending, back-to-back champions.
Right.
They're not gonna fall back. They want to get that next champion, that back-to-back championship, right? So it's like, you coming at me, we're the best. See if you can knock us off our throne. And so I think there's healthy competition, which is what sorely has been missing.
And overall, the match was, in my opinion, very great. It told a very great story.
It was dope.
To the very end, after the bell rang with Cody's promo, and I don't need a friend.
It's heart-wrenching.
I don't need a partner. I need my brother. Like,
yeah, it was. I mean, and it showed that Dustin, like, when you focus on whoever produced the match, like, just when you focus on, like, okay, wrestling,
right,
and not like silly antics and whatever. Right. I mean, you had Brandy interfering with a dope spear, actually.
Right. So I told you, she has one of the best spears in the business. I don't care what anybody says.
Go off, son.
Like, she does. Like, I don't know where it came from, but she does the spear better than most of your favorite wrestlers.
On that note, Brandy did a phenomenal spear, and then you had DDP come out and take her out. So minus that aspect, like the outside,
it helps tell
the story, right? So you need a little bit of whatever to tell a story. But my only issue was with the blading situation. Like, Dustin OD'd on the blading. That was a lot of blood. It was. The match was really, really good, but it took away from the match slightly because it was just a little too much blood.
I didn't mind it too much. It's also, I don't know if the moment when he got put into the figure four, automatically thought about Stone Cold and the sharpshooter. Yeah. Like, the moment they zoomed in on the face, I was like,
yeah, but the way Stone Cold bled wasn't like this. This was a lot of blood. Like, even
it was kind of similar. The reason I think it just dripped differently. But
the blood, no, because even when I was sitting with my mother, because we were watching the Raptors and the Bucks game, and I had this on the laptop, and she's like, he is bleeding. She was like, he's bleeding. Is that even real? Like, it was so much that it didn't look real. So that was my only thing. But it was a great, great, great match. And just to show that Dustin still has it, and, Cody's on top of his game right now. So,
how did you feel about the AEW title?
Oh, that shit. that thing is bad. Thing is bad.
How about having Bret Hart introducing the title?
That's crazy. And then MJF was like, oh, watch it. Yeah. So you saw Bret, like, smirk or whatever. But that thing is dope.
You know what I find funny about this is having that Bret Hart bring out the title is how Vince at the back in the day was afraid of Bret bringing out the title to WCW, and to have him introduce your new title after he just did a Hall of Fame for the Hart Foundation.
My man said, "Yo, after I got attacked."
Yeah, I don't trust y'all no more.
That's it. But no, the title is fire. I think a lot of people, we posted it on our page at the Mixed Tag Show. A lot of people said it had a resemblance to the New Japan.
IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and I agree, and like a mixture of Ring of Honor. And I'm like,
it's also ahead to like territorial titles as well.
Exactly. Like I'm like, yo, pay homage, right? It's what a title should look like. And I'm one of the few people that actually like the current WWE title and Universal title. I don't have an issue with it. I really don't. But this title it doesn't look like a prop. It looks like, yo, this is going to be prestigious.
Right.
And whoever carries it is going to defend it well.
Right.
So I really like the title.
I've talked to a few people on Twitter that didn't like the title. I get their point. They said it was like very gawky, I guess.
I don't think it was gawky because it wasn't even that big. Like the big gold belt. That's a big belt. Yeah. Whereas this belt it's a lot of gold. Right. It's flashy, but I didn't think it was like.
So you're trying to come up with a nickname for the title because all the titles have nicknames. 10 pounds of gold, Eagle Wing, and all that stuff. Yeah. He said the gold badge belt, and I kind of understood that because of the whole cowboy feel, new sheriff in town. How they've been doing that whole cowboy spiel. So I'm like, maybe the gold badge is a good name for it.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Eventually, a nickname will come out from it. But after that, we had the AAA World Tag Team Championship, Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks. The Bucks won. You know how I feel about the Young Bucks. You know how I feel about the Young Bucks. See, now here I am switching my stance. I said the Usos might be the best tag team.
I
told
you hold that thought.
In ring, no one's touching the Young Bucks. The only thing I think what the Usos have is that the ability, the charisma and the ability to like cut really, really dope promos. That's the slight edge, but
in ring is like it's
that match. That was my favorite match. You know how I feel.
Right.
Like, every time we talk about a New Japan match or pay per view or whatever, you know I always say the Young Buck match is always my favorite. It was amazing.
Then we go to the main event, Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, which was a better match in my opinion than what they did in New Japan.
So here's my thing, and you know how or at least I hope you know how I feel about Kenny matches. I know he's a great talent. He's probably the best wrestler in the world.
Second.
Maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Arguably. After AJ.
Debatable. After who?
AJ.
Debatable, right? I can't get into Kenny's matches.
What? It's not fair. It's your opinion.
Yeah, it's my I'm not one of those people like, oh no, his matches are trash. No, they're not trash. But remember, I told you before when we were talking about, I think it might have been versus Jericho. His matches start off really slow for me, and then they pick up at the end.
Right.
I will tell you, he bumped the hell out of in this match for Jericho. Like Jericho looked like an awesome heel. And Kenny took mad bump, so I will give him that.
And he hurt his neck during the match too, and still finished.
Yeah, so he's always going to give you 1,001%. For me, I didn't think this match. It was good. It's like much better than what WWE's putting out.
Right.
But I thought they could have done a whole lot better, in my opinion. And maybe it was the situation because of Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, was coming out, so maybe they didn't want to go too in. I don't know.
And plus, his neck was like he took a bad bump on his neck, so I think that took away from it as well. But like you said, the match was, in my opinion, was very good. Like I said, it's top 2 between the 6-woman tag.
Even over the Young Bucks?
I put Young Bucks about like it's between those 3 could interchange, and I won't argue. Those two, I won't argue. You can interchange those 3, I won't argue.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could go into ratings, or you want to go to the question of the night, number 1?
Well, before we even go into the ratings,
but we got Jon Moxley came out and he
through the crowd, which
was very symbolic.
Yes.
You see them behind the stage, and you see the footage, whatever. It's awesome.
And then you just see all the promos and everything that and we'll get into hot topics. But my rating for the show, I give it an A-. There's a lot of things. It was a great first, quote unquote first, because they had All In, but
right.
Quote unquote first great pay-per-view. There's some tweaking that they can do in regards to it felt very indie impact-y, vibes.
But I like that vibe.
I understand, but I also want pull from what you can from different promotions, but make it your own.
Right.
So that's the only thing.
We got time.
But they have time, and I'm not knocking it. It's the first time they did it. JR got to knock the rust out because it was just it wasn't.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I would talk about as a commentary between JR, Excalibur, and I don't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when they was using announcers that was more familiar with their product. Mm-hmm. Not saying Excalibur is not, but Excalibur is more of like a punching kind of person. Mm-hmm. Jim Ross is not right now. Should be color commentating. It's just. That was the only thing I really took away from it. To me, I give it an A.
I don't know what the people rated it, to be honest.
We'll just put it right here.
Can we grab it real quick?
So, as she's grabbing the ratings, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the question of the night for number 1. Mm-hmm. What do you expect or like to see from AEW going forward? Well, I really like their diversity already. You see different aspects of all walks of wrestling life in their ring on their first night. You could tell that everybody enjoyed being there. Everybody played their part. You could tell it was a fun night, and it felt like it was a fun atmosphere all together. So moving forward, I would love to see them keep that. I say that's an A.
I'll say an A.
So, an A.
NA.
So I would love to see them to keep pushing forward with that. And I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, did you see? No, you didn't see. So Cody Rhodes talked about. Mark Henry asked him about the diversity of AEW.
Yes, and I forgot to mention that, but that was a very and I don't have the exact quote, but it was a very.
I have it. I remember that.
Go for it.
So basically, what he said was that one time he was talking to Cody, Brandy Rhodes. And he was telling Brandy, like, I don't see color.
Right.
And Brandy automatically, and this is when they were dating, Brandy automatically responded, if you don't see color, then you don't see my experiences. And from there, he knew that he had to change the way he looks at stuff. And I think that's the approach they bring with AEW as well. As you know, they have a gay male wrestler and Sonny Kiss. They have a transgender in Rose. And, it just brings that different side to AEW. That, and then to the point where somebody from Congress recognized AEW for their diversity. Like randomly. Like nobody, I can't remember the woman's name, but nobody saw that coming. And she recognized Cody and AEW for their diversity and their product.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I respect the hell out of Cody for that. My only concern in regards to that, and I love the fact that diversity will be a big thing. And look at the owner of the company, right? But my only concern is in regards to AEW. When it comes to the whole idea of diversity, I don't want it to be that. Yes, I understand they're saying all the right things now in regards to like different people are gonna get pushed at different, and wins and losses are gonna mean something. I don't want it to be a situation where elite members are going to be constantly featured. Right now, I get it because ultimately they're popular. You kind of have to bring it into the forefront. But I hope to see that it's not just Cody with a big match or the Young Bucks with a big match or Hangman Page, because that's who they want to push currently. You get what I'm saying? I want to see other people, what names that we can bring out that we don't know of, that aren't familiar with, that can be a top mid-card or top, main eventer.
Right.
So that's I would love to see that. And I would love to see a really strong women's division. You know how I feel about women's division. Yep. That's how you feel. That's the key for me, because we already know what the men are going to bring and the different people that they sign. It's 2019. Like, women wrestling is at an all-time high. You have to feature these women.
And I see that they make an effort with two matches in the pay-per-view. Yeah. Automatically, they gave them time to let them do what they wanted to do.
They gave them time, but also too, and I guess because it's the first pay-per-view, but I don't want it to be the same situation where, like in the WWE, let's throw all the women in the Fatal 4-Way, or let's throw them in a tag team match. And ultimately, that was the situation here. I get it's a new pay-per-view, and we're just trying to get as much as we can eyes onto it. Yep. But I want to see going for Fyter Fest or for All Out.
Right.
There's
one more Fight for the Fallen.
Let's see Britt Baker versus.
They already have it. They have Brandy versus. Can't remember the girl's name. They're fighting at Fyter Fest.
Okay, but see that's I want that to be, obviously you're gonna get your Fatal 4-Ways and your triple threats, but let's create feuds and not get into the situation. Oh, let's throw the women all in one match and everything else is men. That's what I want to see, and I expect to see, especially with Brandy being the chief brand officer. Right. I would hope that that's a main focus for her specifically.
Yeah, the woman's name is Alexandra. Except the first last name Cortez. Mm-hmm. So she's from the Democratic Party. So shout out to her and shout out to AEW.
Wait, she's fighting?
Huh? No, she was like shouting them out for their diversity.
Oh, I was like, wait a second, she's from the Bronx too. Shout out to her.
She's saying Cody and AEW's diversity. She paid attention.
So let's jump into
your show.
WWE. Put the world.
You do it. You push the button.
Where is it?
It's right there. First, before we start this off, to be honest, I didn't watch this.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really didn't watch it. I kind of just fast forward.
I was gonna watch it until people were telling me like the first hour, which is one match.
Like a match really didn't occur.
And I just watched Brock Lesnar's segment.
Brock's segments didn't do anything for me, but
You didn't think he was hilarious?
I didn't think that. I think it was stupid, and like I'm not gonna say it here. I'll tell you off, like here, what it just reminds me of. But regardless of the fact, nothing stood out to me. But these are the talking points that I decided to talk about. The whole Shane McMahon versus Lance Anoa'i, aka Roman's cousin. I don't know if that's actually his cousin.
He's family.
So he's actual family. Okay, so. Whatever, Shane goes in about the lineage of the Samoan dynasty. And my thing is, I'm looking at this and I'm like, first of all, you hear the fans booing. You hear the fans chanting AEW.
I read about that.
And it's like, Yo, and we talked about this last year when after All In. This was All In. You did what they did for that pay-per-view. This is for you to, oh, yeah, that's what you're doing? Let's step up the ante.
Right.
And you didn't do that. You had a segment like this. This was stupid. This is not how I envision. At this point, I envision Shane, even if it's storyline-wise, coming out in a suit taking over for his father.
Right.
Like he used to be in the Attitude Era when he was just it was corporate. He was not always in a baseball jersey.
To be honest with you, to steal this idea if you want to, I would have loved this to be a start of Shane McMahon versus Triple H because of all the talks of like when Vince goes away, who is it going to go to? Like this could be a nice build up for that as they head into XFL, as they head into SmackDown on Fox. Like, no, I'm the lineage.
Like, I'm the next in line.
Right. This is going to me. Screw my sister. It's coming to me. Like, no. And then Triple H steps in like, no.
And regardless of that, which is, I think that's a dope idea, this is stupid. Like, this is the time for you to all right, we got to step it up. I'm not saying AEW is going to be like, as soon as they premiere,
Right.
Maybe they will. I don't know. But, take over. But people are after your neck.
Right.
And this was just stupid. You had Roman look stupid. This is all the reasons why, and we'll get into it. Jon Moxley was fed up for segments like this. This was retarded.
Right.
But besides that, because I don't want to spend too much time on that, go ahead.
Sami Zayn live from the electric chair. Some new segment they got with Corey Graves. Getting questions from the fans. I think they tried this already with Bliss, and it didn't work.
With Bayley and Sasha and Bliss, yeah, they did that. It didn't work.
It didn't work, and then they tried it twice with Bliss, right?
Sure, I guess.
Whatever. Now you're trying to with Graves, like with electric chair. What's the point of the electric chair?
I'm assuming they're thinking like, oh, you're in the hot seat type thing. Like we're gonna get.
I would have loved it if it was like a lie detector test, like. Strap the wrestlers into and then have lie detectors on the screen or something. Like, electric chair for what?
I don't know.
I saw it again. I didn't watch this. I saw this. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
Nah, the only reason why I brought it up, like I'm with you. I really just fast forward just to get points, but maybe stop for a second just to get the gist of it, but I didn't actually. I damn sure didn't watch it live, but the one thing that stood out that everyone was discussing or talking about was that Sammy eventually was quote unquote fed up with the questions that I asked him. He's like, you can ask me anything. You can even ask me about AEW. I got a reaction out of the crowd.
Right. I
didn't put this in Hot Topics because it was very all over the place. But
nobody
no one
knows the real issue.
If it was scripted or because one, I saw that Vince was furious about it. Then I heard that it was scripted, but kind of wanted just. But not scripted,
they wanted to, kayfabe it.
Kayfabe it. I hope it was planned or it wasn't, regardless if it was planned or unscripted. Yeah, come on. You shouldn't be scared of competition. If this is what's happening, I don't care about AEW. Yeah, so what? We said AEW.
Right. But then they took it out the video for YouTube.
So we don't know if it was.
So we don't know what's happening.
But yeah, my rating for Raw was an F.
And no, because I didn't even watch it.
You didn't watch it, and it looks like the viewers gave it a C-.
That's so generous.
I'm telling you, that show was not good. Nothing about that show, even with Brock.
Brock thing was funny to me. You tell me why you don't think it's funny when you get off air, but I think that was funny.
I didn't think it was
the part where he was like, a year. Just to play up that he doesn't watch the product, like a year. Why are we out here now?
My man, it did nothing. It did nothing for me.
I cracked up.
But on to your show.
On to my show. I actually watched this because I saw some people actually enjoyed the show. Mm-hmm. This whole Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair thing is,
Ooh, I got a kick.
It took a turn. But my thing is, why do you turn them when they're on two different brands against each other?
So I'm confused. I don't think Lacey is. I don't think she turned.
Well, they had a little. They're supposed to be friends.
I saw. I just don't think she turned. I don't
think it was a term. I'm just saying, against each other,
yeah.
Combating each other. They're on two different brands. Why are you creating a feud between these two?
She wasn't even on Raw. She's a Raw superstar.
Right. It was.
I don't know. I will. The reason why I wanted to bring this up, I know how you feel about Lacey. I think she's a very strong character. The promo backstage, I thought with Charlotte was awesome. I thought the match with Bayley was really good. There was some movesets. I was like, oh, okay.
I wasn't impressed.
I was impressed. Charlotte, I thought she was bad on commentary. There was a lot of awkward pauses. Like even at one point when Bayley got thrown out the ring and she was in front, she was like, "Oh," like if she was gonna say something, and then I was like, "Okay."
She probably not used to getting direction while talking.
Yeah, so I don't know, but she was kind of weak on that moment, but obviously whatever. And Bayley is just like killing it for me.
It just is a bad time for her.
Is it?
Not for her, like her, but where WWE is right now.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
It's not the perfect time for her.
I agree because I think she's killing it. If like you said, if it was a situation where WWE was just at an all-time high
right now,
her pop
just like how Becky caught on at that moment,
Bayley would be catching on. She got rid of the hugger thing,
right,
and is a little bit more like adult,
aggressive.
Not adult aggressive, but a focus more towards the adults as well, but still focus with the kids.
Oh, you said adult,
like adult,
okay.
yeah. But I thought she put on a really good match, and I think Lacey matched her. I mean, I think Bayley's obviously the stronger wrestler, but it was a good competitive match in my opinion.
Then we move on to the 24/7 title.
So here's my issue, right? We talked about it last week in the premiering. And ultimately, we knew it was going to be a silly thing.
Right.
And I forgot to mention this in Hot Topics, and I guess I mentioned it there. This wasn't even Vince's idea. It was USA's idea.
Shout out to R-Truth, Joe. He's doing the best with this title.
He's doing the best he can, but my issue is it's lazy booking because it's funny, but he still has held the title, right? Yes, Elias won it from him in 2.5 seconds. He won it back. But it's lazy booking because it's like, okay, now who else is going to get it? Because R-Truth you can still utilize him in this whole 24/7 thing because he's funny and he's gifted in that way to deliver these type of segments. But this is lazy booking. I don't understand how they think this is the recipe to boost up ratings. This is first. Now you have Carmella like in this. Yeah, they're funny together, but Carmella needs to do her own thing.
Right.
Just last year you had her as the SmackDown Women's Champion and defeated Charlotte Flair.
I mean, she had her match.
She did, but ultimately what's overshadowing that, she lost. She lost to Mandy.
Yeah, she did.
And what's overshadowing that is
shout out to Mandy.
24/7.
She's on that Hers magazine.
Shout out to her on the Muscle Fitness Hers.
Did you see Old Town Road with R-Truth? I sent it to you.
I saw it. I don't know if you sent it to me. I don't think you did.
I texted it to you. I sent it to you in Undisputed.
You sure?
Yes, I am sure.
I mean, I definitely saw it on Instagram, but okay.
I sent you the Twitter link. Anyway.
Anywho. But going back to that, he's doing a fantastic job. This is stupid.
But again, to show how important the title is, why didn't Roman try to win it after he speared Elias? And then why Drew McIntyre just watch Elias pin R-Truth and was okay with it? Like, it's just no. It's just if it's a title that people want, let Roman get a grab at it.
Like I think I will agree. I think it's funny that you have R-Truth running all around this arena, but like you said, get one of these big name superstars to do it. Like just anybody, and I know we saw the Old Town Road, and then R-Truth really like getting into it, and Drake Maverick with the posters. But now, all right, legit have wherever R-Truth lives or catch him in the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, like you have to make the best out of the situation. Like, be creative and think outside the box. But besides that, how did you rate SmackDown?
I gave it like a C.
I'm going to give it a C as well. And the reviewers rated it a B-.
So generous.
NXT TakeOver 25 predictions. I'm going to run through it quickly. Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. Who do you have?
Roderick.
I have Riddle. NXT Tag Team Championship. I have Street Profits. North American Championship. Velveteen. NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler. I have.
Yeah. I love Shayna. I love Shayna to death.
Well, it has nothing to do with that. It's just a matter of...
Yeah, I just think it's time for EO to... Yeah, it's getting kind of... You gotta crown somebody next.
I get that, but I don't think they did a great job. Like, if anything, you're promoting Mia Yim more than Io Shirai.
I mean, she had a promo last night, and she got Candice LeRae to be in her corner against Shayna and them. So
Okay. NXT Championship, Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano.
Adam.
I'm going to go with Adam, too.
Only because I know what happened. Like, apparently Johnny's hurt right now.
Okay. Well, and I think
it's time.
It's time for Adam.
And that's why I kind of think the tag team titles might be Undisputed Era as well.
Oh, that might be a good look.
That's what I'm saying. And then put Roderick against Velveteen next and let him capture.
It might be a good look. I told you. Undisputed gives me Bullet Club vibes.
Like, it's time for them to capture all titles.
I agree.
And be as dominant as they say they are.
I agree. Because WWE is missing a faction. You know, one of the
Triple H
things...
Vince doesn't like factions, and I don't get it. Like, why don't you like factions?
I mean, but throughout the history of his promotion, there has been factions.
But you realize that once he won the war, after that WCW versus WWE situation, you don't really see factions amongst them anymore. And I had this conversation with the Golden Elite when I was in Orlando. It's like,
who the hell is Golden Elite?
It's like Undisputed meets their group down there and call each other Golden Elite. Anyway, so what I was saying is that I don't understand why you don't want factions in your company when people gravitate more towards factions because you can feel like you're a part of something. Yeah, you can follow an individual superstar. Yeah, I'm a Roman Reigns fan or AJ Styles fan, whatever the case may be. But when you have something like the Bullet Club and it's like a faction, it's like, all right, I'm Bullet Club. It feels more legit than trying to follow one superstar. So I never understood why they don't like factions. Like back in Attitude Era.
Well, you had DX, you had
right.
Nation of Domination.
You picked who you was with.
Yeah.
Like I remember in elementary school when DX first came, NWO first came.
Yeah.
The night before, I was making NWO tags for me and my boys to wear at school the next day. Like, yo, we're NWO. Like, that's the fun part of wrestling.
And then not only that, you saw what happened with the Shield. Like, all three of those members became legitimate stars.
Right.
Obviously, we'll talk about John, a.k.a. Dean. But all
FKA.
three, FKA, Dean, all
I'm just calling Moxley from now on. I don't know who Dean is.
I mean, some people may not have watched Double or Nothing, so you still got to refer to him.
That's their fault.
Anywho, I'm not going to be the heel. But besides that, let's get into hot topics. Raw viewership down yet again. This week's viewership brought in 2.19 million views, down from last week's 21 million. It is also the lowest number Raw has seen since April 29th's episode. I brought this up because just last week you were mentioning how the views were up, and I argue that point because you're like, oh, Brock brought in the views. It had nothing to do with Brock, but the simple fact that there was a swerve. If it was a swerve with anyone else that you weren't expecting, I guarantee you the views would be high. This past Monday you had no basketball game, so you had all the TV time to whatever, and it fell.
I only say the reason why I'm not very big on this week's numbers is only because that it was Memorial Day weekend. People are out on Monday. People are enjoying each other's time. By the time they get home around like 9, because they didn't work all day. They was out with friends, drinking, whatever the case may be. By the time you hit home 8 or 9 o'clock, you going to sleep to go back to work the next day because you're tired from all the things you did that day. It's a holiday.
I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make
it. So you know me, I'm first to whatever. But it was a holiday. Ratings for holidays are always like, yeah. Like there was no.
I don't know. That's debatable because if you want to watch a show, especially if it was less like the finals or the Western Conference Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals,
but that's different. It's gonna be played at the bar where you're gonna be drinking anyway, or you at the barbecue where everybody watches. Not everybody watches wrestling.
I understand, but if it was a situation where WWE was putting out a good product, people would be watching. Well, I mean, granted, what you said, I was out on Memorial Day. I came home and I still didn't watch. Because this is trash. It sucks, as Jon Moxley put it so eloquently. Injury updates. We have AJ Styles, who is currently injured. He said something in regards to his AC joint, that the bones were rubbing together. Originally thought it was a fracture, but it's not. Says it's not a major injury, just maybe he needs a shot to keep the swelling down.
I'm not buying it.
We'll see.
I think he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia.
I don't blame him. Ronda Rousey has her cast removed. She revealed it in her new YouTube video.
Who cares?
That her Oh, listen. I know you don't agree, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with what I said, but those might feel that there's a void missing with the likes of Sasha not being there and Ronda not being there. I don't know. Anywho, WWE confiscates AEW signs, MJF signs, and Save Us Triple H signs at SmackDown. I saw the sign.
And then it disappeared. I mean, you can't
Petty
censor.
Betty.
You can't censor everybody.
You can't.
It's gonna happen. Just take it.
You do put a better show on, and then you won't have the situation, right?
Just take it.
Anyway, let's get into it. Jon Moxley signs a multi-year deal with AEW. JR, Jim Ross, says the signing was a surprise. He knew that they were negotiating with him, but had no idea that it was actually going to go down. He asked about him 10 days prior, but he had other focus, obviously, with Double or Nothing.
Right.
So it goes back to what we said earlier. I love how this is like not getting out.
Yeah, but it's also the thing with JR. JR never want to know anyway because he wants his reactions to be... He said this before, like, I don't want to know what's going on behind the curtains because when it happens on screen, I want to have a general reaction as everybody else.
As we saw for when he actually came out. That was a legitimate reaction, which is dope. And that's always... JR's always been really, really good at. The whole color commentating thing, I don't know if it's just rust, like ring rust as they call it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But... the reactions and like the emotion, you're always gonna get that out of JR, which we obviously appreciate.
Jon Moxley will also be fighting for New Japan Pro Wrestling, as he will face Juice Robinson at the Best of Super Junior 8 Finals on June 5th. I didn't tell you that, did I? That I figured it was gonna be Jon Moxley.
No, why? Because of the promo or just before that?
No, because when the video popped up when I was watching Best of Super Junior Weights, I knew it was gonna be him. I'm like, yeah. He's not going back to WWE. Yeah. Like, it was one of those because it was a bar. You know, you seen the video?
Yeah, just recently. Yeah.
I seen that during the Best of Super Junior weeks when Juice was talking like, I need a contender and the video popped up. Yeah. I'm like, well, that's John. Like,
yo, them promos are fire. I can't even front on that. What else?
He got to face Joey Janela at Fyter Fest.
Officially.
This is his first match.
Tony Khan, in a Busted Open interview, revealed that AEW will focus more on wrestling than the sports entertainment aspect of the show. We'll have some skits to progress storylines, but most wrestling will be in and around the ring and no choreographed segments and in dressing rooms and what have you. I like that, but it doesn't hurt to have backstage segments as long as it's not silly.
I don't think he's saying that it's not going to be no backstage segments. I think it's more so like...
I mean, he said no.
No, like he said no choreographic segments. I think he means like he's going to let them...
I didn't put the full quote. He said no, like...
backstage segments?
That's what he said. So, like, if what you're trying to say, like, you don't think that's what he necessarily means, I hope that's not the case, but...
maybe he just wants everything to happen in the ring.
I mean, but I do like the fact that it will be wrestling, orientated and just the whole silliness. Like, I know we grew up basically in the Attitude Era where it was a lot of like crude humor and just silliness.
Adult humor.
But you still had a lot of talent to execute those silly segments. So it was fine. But now it's just like you can just tell a lot of these superstars are super like not comfortable with these segments. I'm going to give you some of that because that's hella strong. You can drink that.
You just gave me like a splash.
It's fine. You can drink it. But yeah, so, yeah.
Going on, Jon Moxley interview on Talk is Jericho.
Oof, getting into the nitty gritty.
Moxley opens up about how depressed he was working with WWE, mentions how it was mentally exhausting to come in every week and get fed embarrassing storylines and script. He would literally count down the days of when his contract would be over, even contemplating that maybe he'd feel different after returning from his injury. Knew for sure he wanted to leave in July of 2018. He didn't want to completely crap on WWE. He was fortunate for the past 8 years. It's where he met his wife. He didn't want his leaving to be a sour note to make it awkward for Renee, but felt the feud he had with Seth made no sense and was going nowhere. Where to the point where he refused to align about Roman's cancer. Said it was so bad that it wouldn't have made Vince look bad, but Dean bad. and to the point where they could have lost sponsors. You want to continue, or you want me to continue?
I'll continue. Throughout the podcast, he mentioned the process to get anything approved by Vince was a hassle. Their creative process sucks and it's killing the company. He blames Vince for that. Feels that the structures Vince has built around himself, maybe since 2002 when he bought WCW. This is how all this eventually started. Said he's excited in regards to his new journey with AEW and working with different promotions. He felt that he can finally be himself and creative, and that he has so many ideas. Excited that he can be a difference maker and show Vince and WWE that their way sucks, and not necessarily that again they were focused on WWE, but hopefully that this
forces them.
Not even just for AEW, for them.
Yeah,
because he said he has friends and stuff like that over there. And he wants to be happy and do well. What did you think of this interview?
I felt like this interview was very straightforward. And honestly, we've heard it. We've heard this before with CM Punk. And it's the same kind of interview. And then I said this, I was speaking to some friends, some wrestling fans on Facebook about this, and I put it on my Twitter as well. It's funny how everybody's behind Jon Moxley, of how he feels. And he has every right to feel the way he does. But then when Sasha felt the same way.
Go off, son.
She's a crybaby.
Go off.
This is the exact same thing that she's talking about, that Moxley's talking about. And the only difference is that Moxley saw that he had a couple of months left. And he said this in the interview. He said, I realized my contract is almost up. I didn't want no BS in terms of my contract. If I try to walk out now, they try to bring lawyers in. I just toughed it out and be out.
And not only he said that, he's like, if they sell a Shield DVD in like Cambodia,
right,
I'm gonna get my $2 and whatever. He
got paid $500 for the last appearance with the Shield because they were trying to be salty towards him. And Sasha has 4 years left, so you want Sasha to suck it up for 4 years? When you're unhappy about what you could do and you know you can do so much more, it is so difficult to suppress yourself, as Moxley simply put in his interview with Chris Jericho. And Jericho backed him on this. And it's, again, not the first time we heard this. We heard this from Ryback. We heard this from CM Punk. So, guys, help me understand how you could side with one person and not the other.
I mean, but it goes down to it, and not to take the focus off of Moxley, but when it comes down to it, Sasha's a woman, and she's a woman of color, even though she is also half white, but you have that one drop rule, you're black, right? So she's a woman of color, and she's a woman. On the other hand, again, Jon is a man and a white male in that. Not that he's wrong in his opinion. He's absolutely right. You text me to listen to it, and I was like, yeah, I'm downloading now to actually listen to it. And it was so relatable because this is just how corporations are. They have their own agenda, right? If you work for a specific company, you know how it is.
Right.
If they have their own agenda that you want you to do this, do that. When you know your worth and your talent, and you feel that you're not able to be creative and really show what you're capable of,
right,
but you're stuck in this box. It's depressing. He said it on the interview. Like, there was times like it's Monday and I'm looking up at the ceiling like I don't want to do this.
Right.
And that's just, I think
that's the worst feeling.
That's the worst feeling.
I'm pretty sure somebody, if you had a job you didn't like, you felt that way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I put in my story, like, this is so relatable. Like, when you don't like something or a job or just a situation you're in, it is so depressing to get up out of bed and even and do anything. Just
to show reality, the relatability to that is that when I used to work at Hot 97, working in the entertainment field, I loved it. Like, I would get home at 4 o'clock in the morning and still woke up at 9 o'clock to make sure I was back there at 10 on time.
It's kind of like when we do this podcast, right? Because we both have a passion for wrestling.
Right.
It's like, I worked from 7:30 to 5:30, got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and then to come to do this.
Right.
But it's your passion. It's how you feel.
On the flip side, when I used to work for corporate, I was late to work every day. Like, literally, I was late. I would push that snooze button so many times until, like, all right, I'm going to be like 10 minutes late. I could live with that and leave. Like, it's just relatable.
It's super relatable. And I felt like this is the first time, and I haven't been a fan of Dean Ambrose I just always thought it was silly and what happened. And he
felt the
same way. And it showed. And I remember someone telling me for Access at Royal Rumble that he was not fun to be around. Like the pictures he took, he didn't really interact. And that it's probably because I think that's the timeline that he said it around that he didn't want to be here, whatever. He told him. So that's the same, like, you know what I mean? His vibe was different.
Right.
You know? And it, like, this is the most I felt like he's had, like, personality. And I know the Lunatic Fringe, he's done the best he could with that character, but it was something like refreshing to hear him speak. It just seemed like he had a purpose.
Just see him coming out at AEW, even though he did, dirty deeds, whatever. Just see him come out and how the crowd pop, and just like how he moved in the ring, you could tell that he enjoyed it.
One thing, and that stood out to me in regards to the podcast, when you're a huge wrestling fan, like all these superstars, most of them were all wrestling fans at one point in their life, like just whether it was ECW, WCW, WWF, WWE, whatever, just passionate about the business. And it's crazy that one person or the process can suck that joy and passion away from you.
Right.
You see that with Sasha. You see that with Dean. You see that with CM Punk. You see that with all these types of people. Pac. You see this with all these different people.
What?
No, because you...
Shout out to Neville. Neville was a beast. This one.
I understand he was, especially when he turned heel. But besides the point...
Right. Respect that man.
You talking about? Tell Vince to respect that man.
I'm just saying in general, respect that man.
Anyway, but besides that, to hear that, like, you genuinely love something and then they take that joy away from you, that's telling. And I when I was listening to the interview, I thought about what a conversation we had when we first started the show, and you said that Vince is a genius. I'm like, no, Vince isn't a genius. It's the situation that he got handed to him. Ultimately, his father had, had this, and he bought it, and whatever the situation. It's like when you brought up to me in regards to DX, right? Or Triple H and Shawn Michaels going to Vince and telling them this is what we need to do, and him finally realizing, because they were losing out on the wars to WCW,
right?
This is what we needed to do. So all these characters or wrestlers were able to show their personality, and they weren't restricted. This is why WWF at the time flourished. Right? It's not so much about being, you might be a good businessman, you get the deals done, but when it comes to this actual product, and I think they said this along the lines of, I don't think he loves wrestling. He loves sports entertainment, the business aspect, the promoting aspect of it, but actually loving wrestling, that feeling that you get when you see so-and-so come down the ring and just, like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole idea of, like, you have guys like Ricochet and Cesaro, like, they put on a great match, but it still doesn't have that same vibe, like, if you watch a Ricochet match in NXT. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's always when that superstar comes up, something is lost. And you know they didn't lose their talent, because that's talent. You don't lose it. But for whatever reason, these matches, it's lost on the main roster. It's kind of like with Seth and Dean, right?
Moxley.
Well, Dean, when he was in the WWE.
His mama named him Moxley. I'm gonna call him Moxley now.
when they had that feud, remember they were chanting this?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I'm still on the fence when it comes to him. Like, I think I'm very excited for him in regards to AEW.
I said this to somebody. I know you're going with it.
I don't think he's a strong wrestler.
Yes, he is. When he came to WWE, they made him change his style. They wanted him to be a brawler, lunatic fringe, that whole persona. Mm-hmm. If you go into the indies, he handles himself very, very well. Similar to how Stone Cold, they made him change himself after his injury. Well,
this is why I said I'm very excited to see what he has in store, because I'm excited for him. Listening to this, to see that passion, that energy, that's exciting for me, because as a wrestling fan, I want to see, like, the performers be excited, so we can get excited for them when we watching it,
like we did for all AEW wrestlers.
Exactly. So it was very telling. And then while I was listening to this, and I remember when we had one of our episodes, I was like, when we crapped all over it, but that one segment, it stood out before he even said it, and then he said it.
Yeah.
About the doctor segment with the rabies shot.
Yeah, we both was like,
what is this?
Like this makes
like
nothing.
That's the one thing out of that, like one of the few things out of that like feud or whatever that stood out to me. I'm like, yo, this is awkward, especially when how they kind of changed. He changed his character, right? It wasn't the lunatic fridge.
He was Bane.
Exactly. So it was more so. I don't know. I mean, I felt with all that said, I felt him on this. It was very telling, and you can only imagine the other superstars that are going through this. Like Roman's the top guy or one of the top guys, but you had to deal with this whole Lance, cousin storyline. That was stupid.
And it brings up to what I remember when they did the cancel angle. I'm like, yo, it felt awkward, and I don't think they really wanted to touch that.
Now, see that, and you're right. But see, my thing is like, this is WWE. Like I was
that's
like,
their blueprint.
That's their blueprint. But
I felt that awkwardness. I felt it.
The line was effed up, and we obviously don't even know what the line was.
Right.
I would love to know what the line is, but I don't know. And it just comes back down to this: why it's just in all facets of life. Like we let people who are out of touch, and I'm not gonna bring race, but older people that are out of touch, like dictate things. Like WWE has to change. You have all these stockholders and Vince, and then all the yes men and all these things, all these people.
People that's more smart that can make the decisions for you, Triple H. Come on.
But it's not even so. But you need diversity in this day and age. Things change. Like the silly whole like in different characters back in the 80s. Cool, that was the time frame. But you saw in the 90s, we wanted relatable badass characters because that was just the 90s. Things change, and whether it's politics, right? Whether it's fashion, whether it's music, me and you are old school heads when it comes to like older music. Yeah, but today's is that mumble rap. That's what's in.
The Megan Stallions and City Girls and
I mess with them, but besides that, that's what's in right now. So it's like you have to adapt. The big, but
Blueface.
Exactly. All these people that are popping right now, times have changed.
But go ahead, rock out.
But regardless, you have to adapt. And this is the same situation with the WWE. Like, you cannot have the same people that were born in 1940, whatever. That's
calling
just
shots.
Calling shots. It's enough is enough.
And the last thing I want to say on this is that it was a quick scare because apparently Renee Young was in Vince's office for like an hour when she came to work on Monday. And then I was like, oh, snap. This is not good. But nothing came out of it, as we know. As we know. Right now. Maybe they're just telling her that she won't be at Saudi this year like she was last year. Maybe that's what they was just telling her. I don't know.
But besides all of that, things have to change. And I hope, and I guess this segues to our last question. We have
an announcement for our listeners. Speaking of change.
So this will be our last episode for the season. So we're wrapping up season 1.
Basically, yeah.
Yes, this is season 1 of the Mixed Tag Show. We don't plan to be gone for too long.
No.
Like a month or two.
Right. We just want to take a step back and revamp some things. We've been doing the same thing for about over a year now. Mm-hmm. We want to do some things different. We want to add in, new aspects to the show.
This is what you're supposed to do, WWE.
We want to change up the music. We want to, we want to change the feel of the show a bit.
Not even only that, going back to just the product, it's not fun to talk about. It really isn't, unless we're talking about AEW or like some like gossip, some tea. It's not fun. I need a break from watching wrestling.
We've been taking breaks. If you ever realize,
we haven't watched the show in its entirety. So with that said, we're gonna take a break.
And not only that, it's time for families, time for each other to enjoy some of life. Because this is very consuming with just us two. Like, this really controls our lives in general.
So on that note, what would you like to see by season 2 of the Mixed Tag Show? Obviously, because we plan on coming back by SummerSlam.
Oh, by the way, draft, you're still going to be going on. We'll probably just update your points.
Maybe every couple of weeks.
Yeah, in the group. So you'll be fine.
No, we can do it on Instagram too.
On Instagram too.
But what would you like to see in regards to...
Diversity. No.
Listen.
No, I would like to see... I don't know. For me, I want to see... I would like some help. if we can find some like people that want to rock with us, like
I'm
in terms of
I'm talking about
product.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think we're doing pretty well. I think we just gotta come up with some new concepts in terms of like.
No, I mean the WWE. By the time we get back to like doing the show.
Oh, you said what would you like to see by season 2? I thought you meant like us. I would like to see.
We ain't gotta put our business out in the.
I'm about to say, I would like some payments, get some sponsorships, and it's like that.
No, I'm not like no.
But WWE, I hope you get it together. I would like a nice competition between AEW and WWE by that time. I would like to see improving storylines. I would like to see more of the women division. Hopefully Sasha is back. I would like to see a better tag team division. You had Daniel Bryan crap on the tag team division on SmackDown, and he wasn't wrong, so nobody really booed him for it.
Which is funny because I think I saw a story that he thinks the tag team division at an all-time high, but whatever.
Anyway, I would like to see, like I was joking because we was talking about us, but to you guys, I would like to see some diversity. I would like to see some new people into play. I would like to see you not drop the ball with people that's coming up from NXT. Watch NXT. Promote NXT a little bit more on your show because that is a brand of yours that you want people to pay attention to because when they come up, you want people to know who they are. There's a few things. Nobody cares about your 1 billion social media followers.
That's combined with all your superstars, not superstars. It just sounds like I'm from Long Island. Superstars, not just specifically your like.
Right, like come on.
Like we're not stupid. What I would like to see.
Boss time!
Sasha Banks back.
Of course.
For selfish reasons, not because I don't understand the situation, but I would love to see her back. I think she's a missing void in the women's division. Let's bring back the focus again on the women's division because it has been lacking.
Yep.
Diversity, I agree. It's too many of the same people that's doing the same thing. The whole wild card thing. What we said was going to happen.
The same people
it's the same people over and over. So it we're not stupid and listen to other people's ideas. It's time to listen to others and create a platform for those that enjoy wrestling, that are wrestling fans. I'll never forget every time you apply for a WWE application, they ask if you're a fan, and from what I heard here is that they prefer to hire people that aren't like super fans, but maybe you need that, right? That's going to be passionate about the product.
Yeah.
And like you said, watch NXT. You're doing the whole dimming. I don't know if you still haven't noticed, but I
didn't watch
on the third hour. They're making the arena dark, but you're missing it.
Right.
You're making the arena dark, but there's still a light on the ring. So there's still. You have to make the ring dark, like put the focus in the ring, and you know what I mean.
Right.
Like you're missing it. Like you're trying all these different things, and you're missing it. And that's what John said in his interview, like
out of touch.
In regard being out of touch, and then the fact that when he was supposed to come back, have me come back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But instead, you had me come back
on Raw
before. It's things like that. Like it's things that are so easy to catch, and just listen to what the people are saying, and. By the time we come back, it'll be before AEW anyway. But like, get this competition thing up and like really rolling.
By then, we did have 2 events, so
get it up and running because it's needed. It's needed. It's time. So on that note, thank you for listening to our show for the past year and a half or so. I guess it's been a half. We do appreciate it. It's been a journey for us. Like we said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to change the theme song because, that's what you do for seasons. Like
revamp.
You revamp the theme song.
Maybe a new logo.
Maybe a new logo because I'm actually tired of looking at this. Maybe,
Not too different because you got the draft title now.
That's true. But, come up with different. We haven't done contests in a while.
Right.
So bring that back. We have some skit ideas, too, that we want to do that I think will be pretty funny.
Yeah. Though we're going dark, we're still going to be on social. Moving a bit.
Yes,
not as much because we're trying to revamp at the same time, but we're going to throw some things out there.
But we'll get back to like posting our like daily clips and just being a little bit more focused on social media just because the time is not executed for this.
Right.
So again, on behalf of the Mixed Tag Show, we want to thank you and we will see you season 2.
Season 2.
Yes. So
stay in tune for the announcement for that. We gotta We went to the drawing boards. We coming back. We gotta come back stronger than ever.
Yeah. So, but please still support us by going to our link in our bio at the Mixed Tag Show or at Blue Magic Grind.
Spelled how it sounds.
Or at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, the link is provided where you can go to the WWE shop so we can get some coins. Also, you can support us at
Collar and Elbow.
You still got to do a skit. And stop mentioning Al Snow. We just got to do a skit. Okay. Use our discount code TMTS. That stands for
They May, They Say. I've said that before.
Whatever. I don't care. And go ahead.
The Mixed Tag Show. Oh, and we'll probably have a new closing as well. So for the final time of this season, I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Peace. Season 1. Bye.
It's the Mixed Tag Show. The Mixed Tag Show. With Jenna and Blue.
Damn. Hey, did you like this episode? Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Also follow us on our social media at The Mixed Tag Show.